Welcome everybody out to podcast number 357. We are done with the tax production system, and today we're going to showcase an interview with Mr. Adam Hoots. Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, expect more. Let's go.
Welcome everybody. I hope you're doing well. I was able to record this podcast for you out of love with Adam Hoots, and we're going to talk today about the concept of people and process and how to approach accountability and a number of other wonderful topics. So I recorded this ahead of time with him, and on we go. Let's get it done. I'm recording now, so we're like official podcast time. So because I'm reading the tax production system book, I don't know what number this will be. So we're just going. Like, we're live right now, Mr.
Nice. Well, so can I go ahead and just like broadcast this live, or is that going to screw up your whole podcast deal?
You do your thing. Can you hear
Is that okay?
Can you hear the air conditioner in the background or no?
A little bit, but if it's hot, I can get by it.
Okay. Well, as long as it doesn't hurt like podcast quality, then I think I'm jamming. So we're going to move forward. Go ahead. Broadcast, my brother.
Perfect. I'm getting into it. I'm learning all this stuff from Felipe, trying to figure it all out here.
Okay, let's do this. Do you want me to cut this out or do I leave this in too?
I already know the answer to that question. You don't cut anything out. You can't fool me. You got me the first time.
I know. People love this. I still haven't been able to fix that video. We've looked at that capability video. We've tried to find the original footage. I've the lady in Croatia that does everything. I'm like, the next thing we need is a miracle to get that video fixed. I'm sorry.
I'm past it. We're good. It's the message is clear as long as you listen to the podcast and listen to the words we're saying. I mean, you can't overvalue productivity versus capability. So no worries there. I appreciate the sentiment though. You're gonna have to introduce me to the folks who help you with the editing of the podcast here.
Yeah. So the podcast I edit, the videos, there's a lady named Lucia on Upwork who's fantastic. I recommend her to anyone. You need her video done, you send it over. She's disciplined, timely, amazing person, amazing human being. And I've been through a lot of people on Upwork, and it's very rare to find somebody that good. So yeah, I'll definitely recommend it. But
I'll be looking for that contact information there.
Yep. I'm looking forward to your broadcast. You're going to play a sound or something?
We can. Oh man, we've got all kinds of sounds. We can do sounds. We can, you want some intro music here?
Let's do it.
We got to be careful because there's some bad words in this song. Like that. Hooty hoo. Yeah.
I like it. Okay. Can you do an applause sound for me?
Oh yeah. We got to get more coordinated than that though.
Oh yeah, baby. So I just got my Rodecaster Pro, and it came with the stock button items, right? So I think that's fine. Now I'll start pulling in my own stuff, but that thing's fancy, huh?
It's nice. It's really nice. I'll tell you, I almost reached out to you to talk to young Mr. Schroeder to help me understand some things, but I've figured him out. Felipe is fantastic. Marcus Turner. Do you know Marcus Turner?
Boy, I've heard of Marcus Turner. Is he the marketing guy?
I don't know if he's the marketing guy. Anyway, I met him on Clubhouse. It's kind of Felipe's go-to guy when it comes to sound and mics and technology, if you will. He is next level. So he's worth an introduction to for sure.
I love it. Well, I'm excited for it because we've improved the tax cert class, as you know, with your recommendations. Like, it's going to be twice as good. And now we've got the applause, we've got the laughter, we've got the sounds, we've got the intro, we got everything on that Rodecaster Pro, man. Like, watch out. So if anybody listens to this podcast before the 23rd on August or September, you got to come. It's totally worth it. So, all right, Mr. Hoots, take us away, my brother. Let's dive right in.
So, well, hold on a second. I'm not quite there. Bear with me real fast. I'm trying to, let's see if that's going to work. Sorry.
No, good.
So it's not allowing me. I'm sorry. I'm not able to share my webcam with two spots. So we're going just sharing the screen here.
Okay. Let me go ahead and I'll give you permissions. And it should automatically do that. I can make you the host, actually. Yeah, I'll just make you co-host. Yeah, there we go. Make co-host done. We are good to go. I don't know. I look so horrible in my hotel here. I may not put the video up there.
Too late. We're live, Mr. Schroeder.
Okay.
We're live on YouTube.
Are you live on YouTube? Really?
We're live on YouTube through StreamYard right now. Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Well, I need to pretty myself up. What if when I got up and did
You
jumping?
look fabulous.
Where?
I'll do some jumping jacks with you. That's why I put a hat on, man. Nobody's looking at us. They're listening to
I
us.
don't have pants on. Like,
So let's talk about accountability here.
yeah, you should have told me what we were doing here. That's super funny. Oh my gosh, I love you so much.
Likewise, man. The feeling is super mutual. Love watching what you're doing right now. It's fantastic. Just something's different, something's going on, and that's what excites me at the moment. I'm just fired up. You know, in the last 2 weeks, I've been able to see Jesse Hernandez. I've spoken with Jen a few times. I took your tact class. I'm signing up for Felipe's Scrum class. Like, I am like all in it, man. What? Oh my goodness, I'm so excited right now.
How could life get any better?
It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't. Maybe a podcast with Jason Schroeder here.
I think so.
Good.
The problem is we have to get you on more podcasts more often. You've got so many great ideas. I do have to say that I took your advice here. Boom, baby. Systems thinking.
Nice.
That's my book that I'm thinking in systems right now. I just finished it. Oh, I got some stinking cool updates. So so you saw my post on the St. Jude's Children's Hospital. How stoked are we?
Tell me more about that. Who do we know? How are we in? How can we hold ourselves accountable to make something happen?
So you held me accountable and told me to get on it. So I did the post, and Antonio Monaco, I think is how you say his name. He reached out to me. And so he said, do a little proposal. So I'll send him his way, but he works with design and construction. And yeah, I think we're going to be able to start helping right away. Knock on wood. Not that that's how it works, but
so what does that proposal look like then? What are you proposing here?
I'm proposing, hey, what do we, I think honestly, to help them in the design and construction department to work to scale lean and to support any contractor that's supporting that wonderful organization. You know, can we help them with production laws, systems? I'm serious.
Yeah.
Tact, last planner, Scrum. Like, I see no reason why this couldn't happen. And yeah, right now, like, you know, before we build the building. And, you know, the other thing is, honestly, and this really ties in, the design and construction will progress together with them, right? And then when we get the money to build the building, it'll be even that much better because they'll be ready. And that all came from your accountability.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, that's so just perfect segue, I guess, right into like, hey, is the message clear? Or do we know what we're talking about? I mean, when we first started talking about this St. Jude building, you're like, hey, I'm going to build a research hospital one day. I was like, man, that's a pretty cool idea. We should get like the world's best builders on it. Like, you know, you can be the superintendent. I'll be the PM. We'll get Felipe. Will be like our PX to scrum us through this thing. Charlie Dunn can be our scheduler. Jen will be our, you know, our lean coach, and Jesse will be like our trades. Like, man, we've got like the best team vibing with your tribe. You get Steve Turner involved. Like, we got names, man. We got, you know, let's get Paul Akers out there to help us understand. Like, I'm talking like the best of the best project. And so when we started talking about that, and it like became a reality, when you actually you made something tangible of it, right? You held yourself accountable to make a video. And I love that, right? Because we went through kind of those phases that we talk about. And I'm going to pull up the graphics, since you shouted me out the other day, and that was the Bosch Refine My Site, when you had like 15 minutes to do a presentation and you gave me a shout out. I'm very grateful for that. Mr. Schroeder. But what I want to show here is
Was that the accountability meter?
yes.
Yeah, I love that accountability meter. I don't share it right now because you haven't published it to the world. So I just want you to know that now that everyone knows that it came from you, I'll be copying and what do they call that? Parroting this everywhere.
I heard a cool phrase today that I'm going to use. Harry Schmidt, you know Harry. He used the phrase R&D. What did he call it? Rip and shoot, man, it's slipping me. Not research and development.
Is it
Duplicate?
Rip and duplicate.
Duplicate, rip and duplicate. Like basically saying, hey, but so yeah, like man, you say it all the time. Anything I have is yours. You feel free. I don't need any type of. But to me, this it became really clear when we start talking about trade partners on jobs or people in roles. And we often, as lean leaders, say we got to look at the process, right? And that can be really hard to do, but to really drive clarity and awareness around what we're doing before we really start looking at the people and making sure that what we're telling the people, what we're illustrating, what we're showing is a clear process to getting things done. And so that's really why I came up with this accountability meter, right? We, you can look at it as a hiring to exit interview process. I prefer going through it twice. Again, we're trying to find the right seat for the person on the bus. At some point, if you've got too many of the wrong people, maybe you got to look at that hiring process to make sure it's clear. Yep. But as we start going here, and Jason, you can see the screen, right?
Well, and the other thing is I'm going to be using the audio for podcast. So do you mind if we kind of describe it from left to right?
Yeah, definitely. So we got like an RPM meter, right? Like think about your car and you got from like green to the red line. And on the left is kind of like, okay, we're bringing somebody into our business or we're bringing somebody into the culture or a process. And we're trying to get them familiar with this process, right? So we're just kind of like, hey, at the 100 or 1000 level, we're just making them aware. Maybe we're starting to educate them, right? And so this is kind of the expectation. We're going over it. And maybe it's more of even getting into that learning pyramid that we've talked about. And I have it drawn on the board. Again, we're kind of starting at the top and we're like lecturing, like, okay, this is how you do it. And maybe we're showing them and we're allowing them to do it first and becoming familiar with the process is how I describe that.
Right.
You got to kind of bear with somebody. They might not get it at first, right? Different people grasp different concepts at different speeds. And so at some point that awareness though starts to become where you're educating them, where you're really becoming a teacher or a coach. And I would even say that, hey, you're really a teacher first. And then, as people become familiar or understand that from a formal perspective, then you're really coaching and you're starting to just provide encouragement and maybe different ways of doing something. Again, we're talking process or just fitting in a company or learning a new role. So I'll kind of pause there because we had some interesting conversation this weekend. Some of these words were bothering me and I'll kind of go back there again, and not in such a sense that we're demonizing those words by any means, but just making sure that we're clear there. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, is coach on the approved list? I'm triggered now that I've seen that word. At least trainer's not on here. Holy cow. we couldn't get to this podcast. Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
So, and you tell me you haven't been in a room where the person at the front of the room is trying to be the smartest person in the room.
Oh yeah. Well, let me find the book real quick. Oh no, I left it in my car, but I've got the leading from the back of the room book, and Felipe gave me, and I'm just loving it. And so yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
So I see what you're doing.
I've got Felipe's 4 C's right here written up. Yeah. Sorry if I went the other way. You could probably see it a lot easier. Connection, concept, concrete, practice, and conclusions or commitment. He hit me with that maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. He's a wise one. He really knows how to put some profound thoughts in here. I'll tell you that. But so the training and coaching thing, again, Jason, I think you've got a great balance of not trying to be the smartest person in the room, despite maybe the fact that you might be the smartest person in the room. But being humble with that knowledge and being able to allow folks to pull that knowledge from you by asking the right questions. And so I think that's kind of where my mind is. And I do think coach is the right word. The more I think about it, I do like the word trainer because you are impacting more people at once. It's just having that humble side of you, right? To really know that as a trainer, you're not like, you're there to replace yourself.
Yeah.
And you're like, hold yourself accountable to that. And that's all I ask. So,
And I agree with you. And for anybody listening on the podcast, his dial goes, and he'll explain it, but awareness, educating, coaching, clear expectations, crucial conversation, role modification. So it's from the left to the right, describing when you hire somebody, the steps that you take, the long process, all the efforts that you make all the way to maybe an exit interview. So stay with us. He's up to coaching right now. And I'm with you. We're with you, Adam. Keep going, my brother.
no doubt, Mr. Shorto, I'd love to be challenged with some of these words too. So if folks out there think that, hey, maybe there's a better word, or maybe coaching goes before it, like this is all kind of just there's no science behind it, right? It's just from my experience. And so, as you said, again, we're making somebody aware, right? We're becoming familiar with the process, and then maybe we're developing some formal training to gather an understanding that's documented, right? And then we're providing coaching where it's like, hey, this is learning opportunity, and we're encouraging and we're asking questions and we're participating with folks and we're doing things together. And then, hey, if somebody's still not getting that process or still not fitting into what you need, then you got to really look at the process and you got to say, hey, are things clear, right? Like, am I giving a ultra clarity? Clarity First is a great book as well. There's, and that might involve like, hey, let's get a third party to come in and go through this process. You may have had somebody go through that process and they were fine, yet maybe there's a little bit of a difference between people here. And so once you clarify that process and you're 100% sure that, hey, it is not the process, then maybe we start turning and looking at the people, right? And saying, hey, let's have a crucial conversation. Maybe there's something else going on in this person's life. Maybe there's something we couldn't fathom that God forbid something happened in their personal life, or maybe their heads just we have mental health things going on these days. Like there are real problems in the world that are tough. So having those crucial conversations, which again, another good book.
Can I say something when you're done?
Please.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to reference, I know being with DPR, as long as we were, Crucial Conversations is a book that is super important, making sure that we're really driving home the messages. I'm sure you read that one, right?
I read that one. And then there's a podcast. There was a different one, Radical Candor. And the book Radical. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. What I was going to say, just to build up your point. Well, I've got one point, one build up, and then one challenge, because you always do such a good job of doing that with me, which I appreciate. You and Felipe are always after me, and I love it. You make me better every day. So you can't do the crucial conversation unless you've made expectations clear. And that's what I love about your RPM meter, whatever we call it, is that a lot of people will hope somebody's reading their minds and then get frustrated, and then they'll go have a conversation, yell, or terminate them without ever having made the expectations clear. So I love that. The one thing that, and I don't want to derail us to when you're heading towards the role modification, but I've been thinking deeply about this, not only from when you did this graph, but also it's not just always process, right? The people aspect of what we do is huge. And so I'm like, how can I still obey the principle of process over not people, but also realize that we have to sometimes do things to correct things with people. And I really feel strongly that there's something to the concept of it's process and behavior, not people. And so I don't know. I stumbled on it because you got me thinking about it, right? But hear me out and then challenge me on this, please, if that's okay. Is this okay right now?
100%. I love it. Let's go.
Okay. So we blame the process, not people. I love it. Most of the time it's the process. When we talk about zero tolerance or contractor grading or and the Patrick Lencioni method of the law of thirds, right? That there will be a third of people that aren't bought in and we need to motivate them, right? So there's always this people component. And I'm like, okay, are we blaming people? Should I feel guilty about this? And then I stumbled upon, I think it's the behavior. And then I'm like, okay, let me check myself. And here's what makes me think that we may be onto something with that, is that behavior is culture. And if somebody doesn't fit into our culture, it doesn't mean that they themselves are bad. It means that they will fit better in a different culture, and that they may not fit in our culture, because a culture is the common actions and behaviors of people. So I'm kind of in the mindset of, yeah, we do process first, which you have on your meter. And then I would put behavior / culture, meaning if the process isn't what's wrong, maybe it's the behaviors and the culture of the person. And maybe that's why they might need to have a role modification or go somewhere else to be happier, because we love and respect them. But if we do that, we ultimately never blamed humans. We just said we might not be a match. And so that's where my mind is. I'd love your thoughts.
Yeah. So I 100% believe it. I would challenge you, I guess, one deeper and say that culture is an outcome of behaviors, but also environments, right? So I think there's a step in there, like, and before even looking at a person's behavior, I think it's like we've got to look at the environment that we have created for that person.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I really like where you're going. Like before we get, like, okay, we've made the process very, very like super clear, crystal clear. Now it's like, okay, well, is this process clear in the environment that this person's in? Okay, it is. Yes, checks out. Good. Okay, well, now we start switching to, is this person exhibiting the behaviors that we need in order for this process to work, right? And so what we're talking about, and I'm super excited you mentioned systems thinking earlier, like we're starting to develop a system here, right? And you know, what I like about the accountability meter is that it's feedback for a system, right? It's hey, how it's like, where am I in this? And then all of a sudden, like at any one of these points, we might say, oh, boom, we got it. Back down to the next thing. Like, what is the next thing that we're now learning, or what is the next process that we're getting into? So I really like where you're headed, and what do you think about having environment there before behaviors?
I think that's spot on. I was also going to say you could, under the people part. Well, and I'm not saying do this. I'm just proving to you that my mind was heading there too. It's like you could split the either, whether you changed it from people to behavior or left people, whatever, you could do environment and then personal behaviors. Actually, it's really the environment is the culture, right? To your point, which you brought up. So I'm going to accentuate that, is that, if somebody doesn't fit, have we created as leaders the right culture? Have we created the right environment? So I think it's culture and environment. And then the other half is, if we do have the right culture, we do have the right environment, we are supporting them, we have made it clear, right? And then that's, if it's still not working, then it may be a people problem, non-cultural fit. But at the end of the day, if on the people side, or whether you call it behavior of people, whatever you end up calling it, the environment, cultural piece, and the cultural fit piece, in my mind, I don't know if it does it with everybody, leads to a different outcome. If I'm a person that blames humans, hey, that's a bad human, I'm shaming them, right? Then I will fire them to punish them. But if I feel like it's an environment, culture piece, or non-cultural fit problem, then I am terminating the person out of respect for them. I'm inviting them to go into a role modification or to get off the bus, because I know they'll be happier somewhere else, because I'm focused on their fit within a culture. I'm not blaming them for punishment. And I feel like that's where people get zero tolerance in contractor grading wrong. Jason Schroeder, I don't have zero tolerance for safety because I punish people. I respect people. I don't grade contractors because I punish people. I respect them enough to help them grow. You and Felipe aren't always nipping at my heels, telling me to be better because you hate me. You want me to be better. You believe in the mission of Elevate Construction. I believe in the mission of CAS. You know what I mean? Like, I just, whatever we call it, not we, whatever you call it, I just hope it takes their mind to the respect side and get away from the punishment side, because we never do anything to punish another human being. I can't emphasize that enough. And we were taught that from kids that, oh, if consequences happen, I'm being punished. And that's just not the way we should do it. So,
Yeah, it's out of respect. It's out of love, right? And it's hard to realize that in the moment because sometimes it feels not quite the same, right? Here's so kind of circling this whole thing like full circle and talking about accountability in itself. What you're saying is that, hey, leaders, right, as leaders on projects, we have to hold ourselves accountable before we look at anybody else, right? Like we own this. Like, are you sure it's not me? Because it's probably me. Like, what am I doing that is not enough? That, like, am I not creating the right environment? And, like, am I
yes.
not allowing?
Yes.
What look internal first, right? That's one of the things I got from that Respect for People conference that I went to last week, and listened to Jen Lacey kind of do her thing where she was just like, people just want to matter. Like people care. We have a natural tendency to want to do good, to be good, to be a part of a team, to do good things. But when that isn't encouraged, right? And you mentioned radical candor earlier, like Kim Scott's book. And I had that teed up too, like that graphic of, hey, I just want to care personally and challenge directly. Because if you don't do those two things together, then it looks like you don't get any results. That is the only way. Like here, I'll flash up another graphic just because I had it like pulled and ready. And man, I have to prepare to hang out with Jason Schroeder, right? So this is radical candor pulled straight out of Kim Scott's book, right? Up in this top quadrant, top right is where you care personally and you challenge directly.
Yep.
Yet if you challenge directly and you don't care personally, you're just being obnoxiously aggressive, right? Like that makes people be defensive. It'd be like there's no change that comes out of that, or they do it because they have to, right? Or if you don't challenge anybody directly and you don't care personally, well, then you're just, you're setting somebody up for mistrust. You're just that person in the corner who's not speaking up and not saying anything and just allowing the bad to be bad and get worse over time. Then if you care personally, but you don't challenge directly, that's just ruinous empathy, right? So now it's like, man, I really, really care about that person. But some people would say they're an enabler, right? Where you just, I just plead ignorant. I plead the fifth and I just let it keep happening and don't say anything. However, if we care personally and challenge directly, that's when people get better. That's when we, Jason, you're the experience of getting outside your comfort zone, past the fear zone, through the learning zone into the growth zone. That's when, and you're saying, like, hey, I love you, man. And this is why I'm doing it, right? Like that's a famous Jason Schroederism.
Well, I love the way you're explaining this. For people on the podcast, there's an arrow going up saying care personally, arrow going right saying challenge directly, and Adam just described all of them. And on the top right, when you care and challenge, that's radical candor. On the bottom right, when you don't care and challenge, that's obnoxious aggression. On the top left, when you care but you don't challenge directly, that's ruinous empathy. And when you don't do either, that's manipulative insincerity. And unfortunately, and you'll probably disagree with me on this one, but unfortunately, I think sometimes obnoxious aggression can be better than ruinous empathy, because even though we're being obnoxious and rude, at least we're helping the human being like know what's going on. I've said before, and this is one of my first podcasts, I think the most dangerous people in any organization are the ones that won't speak up. I think, and I know this sounds radical, but like the people that it's not their fault, so I'm not shaming them, but why do kids sometimes get molested, or people are raped and nobody finds out about it, or there's embezzlement or things like that? It's the sinner or the transgressor that's 100% their fault. And then why did it not get corrected? It's the aggressor and the person that didn't speak up. So I'm not blaming the person that didn't speak up for the actual original sin or the transgression or the illegal act or whatever. However, it will continue if we don't speak up. And that's why I don't want to use hate because you're coaching me, but I dislike so much ruinous empathy and not speaking up. It's a big deal for me.
I agree. And it's really tough. I don't know. In all fairness, like, that's a tough situation, but like just to like sit on the sidelines of a construction and watch people still use CPM, right? Like there's so many people who are stuck in this ruinous empathy where, hey, that's, we know it's wrong, but we just keep doing it because that's just what we do. And that's just common process. So, yeah, I love this. Great book, great concepts.
You're now,
Yes.
by the way, you need your podcast like right away, plus all the live streams out. You are killing it. I did want to say one thing. I can't applaud you enough for asking the question, is it me? And I would just say, if putting it in my own words, so if anybody didn't hear Adam, did I as a leader create the right culture? Did I as a leader create the right environment? Is it me? And the only thing that I just saw, amen, like clap, round of applause for you. That was amazing. Please just say thank you and take it because you deserve that. That was an amazing point. The other thing is that if we do get to a point where we have to make a role modification, get somebody in a different seat on the bus or remove them from the bus because they're not a fit, we do it out of respect for them. And I want to add this, or respect for the people that are staying on the bus, meaning hopefully it's respect. Hopefully it ends up benefiting everyone. But if I'm a leader, I owe loyalty to two people. That human who we don't need to waste years of their life in a non-cultural fit situation, and the people that are cultural fits that we need to protect, that are bought in, that need us to step up and do the right thing. It's respect for both of those groups of people. And if you, and hopefully we have enough Christ-like love and charity for the person to do it anyway. But if you don't even feel that for the person you're having to terminate, at a minimum, at least have enough respect for the people that are there to not only do it the right way, but actually do something about it to protect them. And I just wanted to applaud you and then add that last little piece that it's respect for everyone.
Yeah. Respect for everyone's existence. Right.
Yep.
I think I've told you the Zulu tribe. Have I told you the Zulu tribe thing?
You have it. It's fantastic. And I think you should say it again.
Yeah. Where they don't say hello. They don't like say, hey, how are you? Right. They say, hey, I see you. I recognize that you exist as a human being. Like that's how they greet each other. Like how profound is that? That's one thing that shocked me during that LCI Respect for People event last Wednesday. Hal Macomber, who helped start LCI, right? He made a statement in that meeting where he's like, we got it wrong. Like I got it wrong. And he apologized to the group where he's like, hey, we brought continuous improvement and we brought the tools and the concepts and man, we thought we had it nailed, but we totally forgot about the respect for people and that like looking internal, right? Blaming ourselves first, being owners, being victors, right? Victim versus victor mindsets plays into this conversation a lot, right? Where, if I'm a victor, then I'm going to take accountability, right? Accountability is something that you have to take it. Like you can't give accountability. You can give responsibility. You can't give accountability. And so that's something like just like we talk about being owners in our job. And that's another book that I would recommend for you. It's really easy. Darren Martin. It's A Company of Owners. Really, really simple book. But man, it's got so many just profound statements in it of, and this might offend some people, but it speaks somewhat what we're talking about, right? At the beginning of the book, the first statement in the book says, fire your employees. Like if somebody's an employee, fire them. It says employees are a thing of the past. Employees are a drain on your company. High performing companies hire and develop owners.
Yeah.
Right? Like if that person doesn't have the capacity to be an owner of the company or an owner of their work, right? And to own their workspace, like where they're not going to walk by a piece of trash on the ground or they're not going to let, their thermostat is going to be set to where it needs to be set at to have a high performing team. So
can I back you up on that? I've seen at least, and this doesn't sound like a lot, but at least over 20 of these situations, if not 20 to 50. I've never seen it ever go wrong when we let go of an employee, like you're saying, or a non-cultural fit. There's got to be 25, 35 major, I'm talking project executives, PMs, vice president, like major, let them go from the organization because they weren't a fit. I've never, ever seen it go wrong. And I've never, ever seen somebody ignore a non-cultural fit problem and see it ever get better or go right. And that's a pretty staggering observation. Meaning, like if I go to a job, and you and I do this all the time, and I'm not bragging, I'm just saying, Adam, you recover projects too. And we go there, and I'm using this as an example, whether it's a foreman or superintendent. I love foreman, by the way. So if I had to choose me as a super or foreman, I'd choose the foreman. But it just happens this way because there's probably more foremen out there. The electrical foreman not performing, they're like, well, yeah, detrimental to the job site, really did this unsafe thing. Yeah, we'll keep working with him. Did it again. Oh, we'll just keep going. Oh, the company doesn't want to let. Oh, I'm like, hey, this isn't going to work out. This is not going to work out. And it never works out. And then you see in the TAC plan, on schedule, ripple. What's wrong? The electrical can lights in the bathrooms weren't installed, and that could have been prevented a long time ago. Guess what? That troublesome foreman did not order the right can lights or didn't order it on time per the schedule that we came up together. It never, ever gets better. I remember I hope I'm not going on too long. There's another foreman, and I think the statute of limitations is over on this, so I'll mention it. But we had on one job, we got two smaller cranes. We broke it up. Instead of having one big crane, we had two smaller tower cranes. It was actually a lot of fun. And they were not attached to the foundation. They were just ballast cranes. I don't know if anyone on the call has ever done that, but it's scary as heck. They're just sitting there. But they're actually on a crane foundation. Anyway, so the formwork had to be right sized for the cranes, for the crane capacity. And this foreman, before breaking the panels apart, rigged it to the crane. And the crane operator was like, I think that's overloaded. And he disobeyed the crane operator on the radio and pushed it off the ledge. And that crane, like, I thought that thing was going down. The alarm started going off. The crane operator, like, we had to do a complete stand down the whole nine. And so we had to let that foreman go. And I reflected back, that same foreman had a serious safety violation. This was before I was into zero tolerance. And I was like, he had climbed over a wall without fall protection. And we had the, 3-day sent home, and I let him come back. And I learned, look, these are patterns of behavior. And if they're serious enough, we can't let them keep happening. I've rambled on too long. We're going to have to cut this out. But my point there, never gets better. It just never does.
Yeah. Well, how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? We hear that all the time.
And so actually one maybe point that came from my rambling and wasting our time is that meter we may not have to need to go through all the steps. Okay. So for instance, somebody discriminates against a protected class. Like, we're skipping some of those steps. Major safety violation, we're skipping some of those steps. Discrimination, we're skipping. Sexual harassment, we're skipping. Like,
I would challenge that, Jason. I don't know that we're skipping, right? Have we made it aware that we're not going to be okay with that? And are folks educated and even if it's a societal awareness education, like, we just don't stand for certain things as a human being.
Fair point. Maybe maybe to your point, it's awareness, educating, coaching, clear expectation. But maybe if it's severe enough, you would skip at least part of the crucial conversations, and it would have to be immediate termination. So I'll go. Is that enough in the middle?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'm with you 100%.
Okay. I love it. But I think your points are valid. And for anybody not valid, amazing. And for anybody on the podcast, just one more time, it goes awareness, educating, coaching, clear expectation, crucial conversation, and then role modification. And they might have to be invited to leave to be happier somewhere else. And so I think this is a really great graphic. I hope this scales far and wide, personally.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, it'd be nice. Let me know if anybody needs a copy. I'll send it to you. No question. I'm going to work in, all that green, yellow, orange, and red area looks prime for some additional, like, culture, environment, everything we've been talking about here, behaviors. I really think there's something to that, Jason. So I'd like to explore it a little bit more. We'll kind of tighten it up and see what it looks like. I got a question for you, though.
Yeah. And
so
I don't forget, we need to both do a challenge to anybody listening, and then whenever you're ready to close. But go ahead, sir.
I'll make a note for us here. So is outcome, so I'm thinking of culture. Like, do you think culture is an outcome of well, I guess just there's the question. Do you think culture is an outcome?
I the answer is I don't know. I can give you my ignorant opinion. I think culture is everything, like you do. I do think cultural creation is key. I've told you before the book, The Lessons of History by Will and Ariel Durant. They said the biggest lesson that they learned through the history of the world that, I think it's a 9-volume series, but it took them 40 years to write the history of the world. They said the most important thing was cultural creation that determined the rise and fall of nations and empires and conquerors and the conquered. And that has always had me in the mindset of how do we create culture, which is the common beliefs and actions of a social group. And so the books like Culture Code, the Culture Code, or the Proximity Principle, they're really good cultural books. And I do believe part of that's created. I think that what I like the best is Eric Thomas's concept where he's like, if you let, and you're probably going to hear him in my voice. I love Eric Thomas. He's like, if when you let people treat you any kind of way, that's going to become a culture, right? So I think your accountability meter is a part of creating a healthy culture, which says we do this and we don't do that. And and I'll just close it by saying Brene Brown's comment, clear is kind, unclear is unkind. And so if we're clear about our culture, I think that's kind. And I think it creates a culture. So I hope that was an answer.
Yeah, well, it kind of. I mean, you're kind of searching on what I'm looking for, right? Like Dean Reed's got me down this path of capability development, learning about habits. How do we create the capabilities to develop capabilities, right? And how do we encourage and empower innovations? Taking, the Toyota or the thinking production system and trying to just spin that off and understand like what does create, how do we create cultures? Because that's kind of that, we say there's no magic silver bullet other than tact, but there's also this ability to create cultures there, right? So, and again, I think that, tact plays right into creating a culture of transparency and clarity. The other thing I'll add too, and again, I wanted to toss this out there, but as with many conversations that you and I have, my mind just runs with the words that we're speaking in the moment. But from an accountability perspective, we'd be remiss if we didn't toss Scrum out there.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I mean, just like I've got a Scrum board right here to my left that maybe is, I don't know if you can see it or not.
Maybe a little bit. I'm also going to pull up something on mine to.
Yeah, please share it. But like the ultimate accountability, like I'm this is what I need to get done today. Right. And anybody can walk up here, my wife, my children, Jason, you can show you like, and you can hold me accountable. Hey, did you do this, and that today? Right. And so, setting ourselves up to be held accountable like that and it is really being vulnerable. And I can't think of a better tool than Scrum to really drive accountability, whether that's with yourself or others. What do you got there?
I don't know if you can see it. You can. There we go. We can see it a little bit. So this is the Elevate board with our clients. I wish we could see it better, but anyway, I'm scrumming the tasks actually by hour. I hate that we have to build by hour. I don't believe in hourly billing, but each of those dots is an hour for a specific task. And we scrum them from left to right every month to make sure that we're fulfilling our commitments for our clients. We also have, this is our daily huddle board at Elevate. We have our Scrum down here at the bottom left, all of our stuff, just like Felipe Engineer Manriquez taught us. I totally am into Scrum. Like I didn't understand scheduling until I took the Scrum course. I totally with you on that. Totally with you.
What app are you using there, Jason?
This is Mural.
Okay. Mural board.
Mural app. Oh, the other thing as I will say is tacting their interface for the short interval planning. It can be put into a Scrum format. So
I saw that with the wallet, right?
That with the wallet. I love.
So I just got a download from Marco on that. Super excited. Just got my login credentials this morning. So I'm going to be taking a couple of teams through the tacting adventure. Looking forward to that. applying some of the new skills I got from the TAC Master certification, which was amazing too, by the way.
Thank you.
Whew, we got it going on. I love it, Jason. I love it. Keep it up. Don't stop.
Well, this is like the first of many podcasts too. You've got so much in your mind. So lest we make people sick with our compliments, though, I'd love. So from a challenge standpoint, I totally, you've opened my eyes to the production laws and then the capability, and I believe in it so much. Anytime I teach my head there, I did it again. Anytime I invite someone to learn and on the superintendent level, and
Which is fine, by the way, as long as you're a student sometimes too. Teacher student cap, right?
Shay, yeah, you can back me up. I take correction and teaching all the time. You can back me up.
100%. Oh yeah.
So when I'm like, hey, do morning worker huddles or do this or do that, there are times where it doesn't work, and it's because the person doesn't yet respect people, and so they'll go out and deliver a morning huddle, and there's no connection, or they're in front of an owner, there's no connection. They do negotiation tactics without the right motive, no connection, and it fails. And I totally agree with you. And then I ignored, just like Hal was saying, man, I'm not a lean pioneer or anything. I'm just saying, in my life, there's a couple things, and I'll just be vulnerable with everybody on the call. In my early career, I failed. Like, I was the worst employee Hensel Phelps ever had until two things happened. I was about to get fired as a field engineer in Austin, Texas, with Hensel Phelps. I found the field engineering methods manual, and I found the scriptures.
Wow.
And so now I have my technical and I have my moral and ethical side to me. And the technical told me how to do things, and the scriptural part taught me the people respect why part of things. And I ignore that too much up until now, and that foundation. And then Blake Rawlings gave me a book called the How to Win Friends and Influence People. I read that every year. I read the scriptures every day, and I read that book every year. Why? Because the giving of people and respecting people is the foundation for every good thing that's happened in my life. And I appreciate people like you and Dean and Hal reminding us that, yeah, we're out teaching these tools, and we're forgetting to tell people what changed my life. Well, pole planning didn't change my life. Those two books changed my life. How to Win Friends and Influence People changed my life. God changed my life. Like, these things changed my life. And I think it's a beautiful point. And I hope that Respect for People conference is recorded, because I've heard from 6 people how awesome it was, and I need to watch it. So
it was. If I can, I don't think they've sent it out yet. When I get it, I'll flip it to you. We'll make sure you get it. No question. Always.
That was my closing. What's your closing, my brother? And here's a heart for you, by the way.
I appreciate that. Sorry, I'm a little delayed. I'm not quite there yet. We're still working with it. It's sometimes you forget you have it, I guess I love where you're at. It's hard to go after that, man. My challenge, it is. I mean,
the spiritual side of me, like, people. Just one quick thing. I interrupted you, and I apologize. I did it intentionally, though. You are not ashamed of your beliefs, your spirituality. You're not ashamed at all of praying with people. In case you don't know, Adam has sent me, and I keep breaking them. Before you make me another one, I have to figure out how to not break them. But Adam makes me little cross plastic bracelets that when they come our way, we wear until the shorters break them accidentally. He's prayed with me on the phone, taking us on walks. He's not a serial killer. He actually just did it to come, hang out with us. Like, he's like so connected to like the universe and spirituality and like his purpose in life. And we need more of that, and I'll just say this. And if somebody doesn't like it, I do actually apologize for this. I don't want to be offensive. I want more people to be more of who they are. And even if it's something that somebody doesn't think that I'll like or that I'll connect with or whatever, we have to be tolerant, open, transparent, and share the beauty. And I just want to say that kudos to you, Adam, for always sharing who you are and just being you, and allowing the rest of us to honestly just soak that in and appreciate it, because it's refreshing and it's healing. I'm going to leave it with that, healing. So go ahead. I interrupted you, but that was
We're
important.
fine. A wise man told me to just say thank you sometimes. So thank you, Jason. I, I guess there's this like feeling I get in my belly sometimes, and I walk that trail often with another guy. He's actually a developer for Cushman Wakefield Talheimer. We've connected on a spiritual journey. He's got some cross bracelet. By the way, if you mean something to me, you've got a cross bracelet for what that's worth. So, man, and there's several others in the mail that may have gotten lost and that sort of thing. But it's being yourself, being authentic, right? Whether you believe in God or the universe or whatever you believe in, right? It's good and bad and energies. And just like if you put out good in the world, it's our responsibility as humans to put out more good in the world than bad. And once we have that energy will just take over. And you put me onto a book called The Go-Giver here recent. And boy, did I love that. And it just like speaks to that energy that you put into the world. And so I appreciate it. But that feeling in my, like when I talk to you or any of these other change makers, the thing we're doing on Saturday, I get this like feeling in my belly, and it's like, man, we are fighting for the worker, and we are making this, like, this is happening. And my buddy, G, we call him, which no coincidence, but he calls it the river of living water, right? And it just like flowing through you. And that's from the scriptures. And it's just like, hey, it's you. And it's, some people say it's the Holy Spirit within you or whatever that is. And just be yourself. Yeah. And most people, it takes some profound event, right? For me, it was a kidney transplant. And I don't tell that story often, but that's like how I got into the lean journey. And so, if you're not yourself, then you're missing out. And so, would challenge the audience to be themselves, right? Be open, be ready, like do this podcast live, do it, where you can go on rants or you can make a mistake or you have to use the Google, as you said in another podcast, or like just be yourself and be real and be who you are. And that's all, like, that's enough, right? Like that is, you don't need to be anything for anybody. And that's it. That's enough. So I would also encourage the audience, like, hey, inspire somebody to go join the skilled trades. Like, go find somebody who's underserved historically and inspire them to, like, go pick up a hammer or drill or concrete, finishing tool, or like, hey, let's go like build the next generation of skilled trade workers, because we are driving respect back, right? It's going to be a whole nother business in the next 2 or 3 years when, everybody's tax planning and respect for people is running rampant. And man, it's like, hey, we're buying lunch on the jobs and we're learning on Friday and massages on Wednesday. And like, this is real stuff, right? Like, we've proved that you can do this. And hey, we got real restrooms with music. And it's just like, man, that's going to be such a day. And it's coming so fast. Like, the snowball is happening. So encourage somebody to come hang out with us in the field and enjoy what they do and help us drive clarity to an industry that's in need of it. So
I love it.
Sorry.
Since I'm recording the audio, can we do our tradition?
Absolutely. You count down.
Yeah, but first of all, Adam and I love you. Honestly, with these podcasts, and this sounds cliche, but it's not. It's a labor of love. We do this like Elevate Construction. We're on podcast 349, and by the time this one comes out, it'll probably be 360, and then by the end of the year, we're going to be on nearing 500, and maybe that's too much content. So maybe that could be done better. But the information's out there. Let's go get it, like Adam said. So let's do it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. On we go.
On we go.
I love it. Thank you, sir.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.